Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Monday night. And if you're like me, you're still kind of feeding off the turkey leftovers, and the tryptophan is kind of set in again. And yeah, so we're gonna try and wake you up tonight. And if I don't, hopefully these guys will wake me up. I'm not sure what's going on, but anyway, we do want to thank you as you take time to join us and give us some time.
Turkey was like 4 days ago, Dan. That should have been like gone by Thursday. Let's see. Then you'd have eaten at lunch Thursday. You made the sandwich Thursday night. You made the soup Friday. Hello, by Saturday it's gone.
Sure.
I cooked my own turkey this year.
So how large of a turkey did you get?
Technically, I cooked a 2.25 pound turkey breast.
See, that's the way I would do it.
In the air fryer. It was good.
Nice.
Did the whole meal myself.
Nice. Well, we had the kids came back. They brought significant others, and then we had grandparents come over basically just to keep it fairly tight. 20-pound bird, and there was a couple of pounds of meat left over when we were done.
Alrighty.
It's like
I think I have peas left. That's it. Not that we want to sit and talk about leftovers.
Well, it's one of those things that the good old days of where we used to be able to like make a big turkey and have turkey leftovers for 4 or 5 days. It doesn't happen when you have teenagers and college students.
Now's the time to see if you can go and get turkeys that haven't been purchased. Now you're getting them at a good price.
There you go.
Oh, they're like all over the place at the grocery store.
Yeah. I might try to grab another one if I can find one that's small.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So Sean,
for tonight, I wanted to dig into a little bit about how pop culture fits into what we do as DJs. At one time, when we were doing a lot of, when I was doing the bars and such in the area, this would have been 20, 25 years ago, it became part of the show that I was doing where we would have reference to pop culture. For whatever it was, sometimes there were nights where we'd do some just off the cuff trivia. Some nights there was talking to someone over the microphone, and there would be a reference that was made to some segment of either Seinfeld or Friends or something, whatever it was. But it was part of what I did. And I was thinking about it the other day. Is that, and now granted I'm getting older, and maybe that's part of it, but it doesn't seem that kind of stuff is there as much as it used to be or is needed as much. And I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this. Is there an importance to pop culture in today's world of
I'm
DJ?
going to make this show the shortest show ever. No, we no longer have pop culture in our DJ jobs. The DJ jobs are part of pop culture.
The DJ jobs are kind of...
And I'm going to disagree.
Because everybody wants to be a DJ. I don't care where I go. Oh, you DJ? I DJ too. Where you DJ? Well, nowhere. Everybody freaking is a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll give you that aspect of it. But the piece that I would kind of throw in, yes, we don't have quite the same as like the Seinfelds and the different things like that. But we've got TikTok. And that has become a way to take that pop culture and just slam it in our face.
So now, is it so much as that pop culture defined kind of the interaction of the show at one time, at least in my world, and some of the DJs that I had worked with at that time? Is it now where it is a direct influence on music as opposed to the banter?
I have no idea what you're talking about banter, because
that
must have been a wedding or a mobile thing.
It was something that and through the central, these small little bars, they wanted DJs who were on the microphone, and they would
the bar. So that's
exact bar.
To me, that's part of the mobile industry. That's not part of the bar and club industry.
Right, and that's what they would want us to do, and they were at a period of time I was doing 5 nights a week in the same bar, and that would help get that personality across, and we could engage with people on the microphone. Not that we'd be making 100 announcements, but very seldom I would go more than, until we got the dance, probably after 11 o'clock. Then there weren't too many announcements made. But from 9 until 11, I was on the microphone every 3 songs at most, if it wasn't even every 2 songs, to be making an announcement or a shout out to somebody, or so and so's birthday, or you're looking really good over there with your green, your fully green attire or whatever. The job was to connect, and using pop culture references, or to make using a quip from somewhere was a thing that people would be like, oh yeah, this is so fun, and it's like, yeah, whatever. And I'm just wondering, is that side gone? But as Dan said, now we have this TikTok thing. Is that now the influence of pop culture on our business?
Well, I would think if I go back to, because maybe I was misunderstanding some things. I think there is a realm of the, and MJ's going to say this is not a real DJ, but the trivia hosts and that kind of thing. When you throw that aspect out of it, I think that is going to obviously play a factor to it. I think you're going to have some of that banter that needs to be there, because there's a lot of talking, there's a lot of MC aspect, there's a lot of connecting, which makes you that better host. Now, take that out of the equation, go into MJ's version of DJ. I think the music is what's making that impact, because you see a song that becomes popular through TikTok and through a dance or some sort of movement, or it's playing on 20 different videos, and now suddenly it's working its way into what we're doing as a way to connect, as opposed to something we may have done vocally.
I'm going to go ahead and say that tonight we need, just for the sake of this conversation, to include mobile DJs as actual DJs. So for the rest of the night, we don't have
I was just using trivia hosts. I wasn't going into the whole...
Because I put trivia in with the mobile DJ. So we'll just say it across the board. Anybody who's out in public that's involved in music, whether it be music trivia, karaoke, bars, clubs, weddings, birthdays, fire halls, whatever.
Well, before we start kind of going that direction, let's build off what Dan mentioned.
Let's all lump them in together there. So
with the TikTok, and specifically TikTok and YouTube, MJ, how much do those affect your music searching and your playlist that you will be utilizing at an event, specifically at a club?
I don't do playlists, as you know. I just had a big, long discussion with somebody that DJ'd somewhere over the weekend. They're like, man, I had this whole list, and like everybody come up asking for stuff, and it was nothing that I had planned on playing. And I'm like, well, why do you bother? You've been doing this for 30 years. Why do you bother? So, but beyond the list, it is stuff that you have to have. You have to pay attention. If something's crazy popular, you're going to see every third person on YouTube doing it, like the fancy like dance. You're gonna have to have it, because if everybody's like, oh, look at my fancy dance, you're gonna have to have it. That's all. You just have to pay attention to some stuff beyond charts, beyond anything, and just be ready to grab stuff live. And there is going to be a lot of even old songs, like when the whole Cranberry, whatever it was, had a thing and brought back Fleetwood Mac. You do know what I'm talking about,
Ocean
right?
Spray.
Thank you. I didn't know what it was.
Roller,
which helped me find a really, really good re-drum of that. So that was at least something. Now, it got me the opportunity not just to play the song, but to play a cool version that people would actually like. Oh, this isn't so bad.
This isn't so bad.
You have to do that with songs, because the original
was so bad.
Yeah, but those songs, you get the hook, and you go beyond the hook, and it's a dead crowd.
Yeah. True.
So you get these, you can go beyond the hook and make it part of what you play. But you have to pay attention to a lot of stuff like that. If there comes an old, like when Guardians of the Galaxy come out, there were songs that were on that soundtrack that we had to bring back and play because people wanted to hear it. So that's all. That kind of way, yes, it is a part of pop culture. Not as in talking, for me at least, but it's anything like that, where a song becomes popular, you have to figure out a way to play it.
So you mentioned TikTok, you mentioned movies. Are there other avenues of pop culture that affect the music that we get requested that you've run into?
This would be a question that, while I was thinking about this, where I've seen some friends of mine who strictly do, not strictly, but who do a lot of video mixing. And for a large portion of the time, they were grabbing scenes from shows that were popular, and either somebody made some kind of weird, video to coincide with another song, or the show, like Family Guy did this a bunch, where they grab a song, so they would have a video that was the legit song but was being done with the character of whoever may have been doing the song. And so that I see finding its way. Do you, while we're going to throw MJ, because I don't video mix at all, do you see that still, because this was maybe 5 years ago when I was seeing it a lot, do you see that still prevalent now?
The good example was, every once in a while you can still drop the song Biz Marquis's Friends, depending on what you're doing. I don't know how many years ago it was, probably about 3 now, that Justin Timberlake and the guy from The Tonight Show,
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon.
I almost said Jimmy Kimmel, but it's Jimmy Fallon.
Yep.
They did like the history of hip hop, and that was one of the songs they did, and they did it really well with the crowd, and that's what I ended up playing most of the time. I would drop into that. They would see what they saw on TV or on YouTube of them doing it, and it just brought some more energy to it. So absolutely, grab stuff like that. There's songs out there with maybe somebody on a show did a dance to it, and you just grab a video where that song plays and that dance they did on the show loops. So yeah, be very creative with that kind of stuff. That's always fun stuff.
Do you still create videos for some of the songs like that, or create a video edit of some sort for what you're doing?
If I can't find what I want, a lot of times, for me, it's the opposite way, that if I find a song that I really like and then I go get the video and the video's nasty, I'll try to figure out something to do over it. Just to irritate some people, when what's her name's song "I'm So Fancy" came out, Kesha, is it Kesha?
Izzy Azalea? No.
Izzy Azalea, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I ended up putting Weird Al Yankovic's "I'm So Handy" video over top of that, just to kind of mess with people. So it's just about having fun. It's about doing something different. Like, perfect example, my Bruno Mars 24K is not the video, but it's his performance on Saturday Night Live over top the song. So when I play it, it's synced perfectly, but it's not the video from that he put out, but it's his performance from Saturday Night Live, and it really throws a little bit of different energy to it. So there's okay, so it does affect me a lot more than I thought, because I've just rattled off.
See, I knew we'd get you around to it.
But
see,
yeah,
I knew I could change your mind.
I just wasn't thinking right now, But yeah, apparently, yeah, because that's stuff I look at and go, hey, I want this, or whatever. Or there's been songs out there that, I'll download a video of it where there's no real video for it, but there's a video of somebody doing dances to it, just random. Nene. I ended up finding this one where these kids were doing Nene, like these little kids. No, it wasn't Nene. What was it? There was 2 I did. What were the 2 dances out at that time? No, was it Dougie?
I was gonna say, was it the same as Dougie? Juju on the beat?
It was Juju. So I had the first one, Nene, with little kids. I'm talking like little kids in like these ballerina dresses doing it, and it was hilarious. And for the Juju, it was no joke. They were police mascots, like a police dog, and then there was another one in a police, these costume people doing Juju, and that was the video I played, was them doing the Juju dance to the song, just to be silly, So holy crap, I do a lot of stuff with pop culture. Sorry, folks.
So let's take one of those songs. Let's say the song is still going, or still is getting requests. It's a recurrent, for lack of a better way to describe it. Would you update the video if you're looking at it and say, "Oh, this video that I did was great at that moment or that time, but it is dated"? I will do re-drums. Like Miley Cyrus's "Party in USA" just is one that just doesn't die. And if you have any girls in the audience, you can always go to it. And I ended up finding a Mambatone re-drum of that. There was no video for it, so I ended up taking her normal video and put it over the Mambatone re-drum of it, and that's the one I play now. Holy crap, I really did a lot of these things that I realized I was doing. Wow. So, yeah.
I would definitely feel that, especially if you're playing out a lot, where the recurrent comes back. I think, it's one of those things where sometimes the recurrent coming back also allows, like, if the song was there, most likely the pop culture reference was there. but I don't believe that a recurrent coming on strong again would be something you'd want to go with that pop culture video every time for the old pop culture video.
It all depends if it's catchy. That's the only thing. That if it's something that that is timeless, like if it was a pop culture thing with maybe one of the ex-presidents, you'd be like, that's just, no, let's not play that video. But if it was something, I can't even think of something that would be like that. But yeah, it kind of hit or miss. If it has a classic kind of feel to it, yeah. But if it's very, it's like anything. It can be dated or it can be retro. Retro's fun. Dated is sad.
One song just kind of bounced in my head, that "Call Me Maybe," when that came out. She had her video for it, and then there was the video that got probably more views for a period of time with the Harvard baseball team when they did their little thing in their van, and that became kind of a nice change up for that. So you could play.
Never even saw that.
Yeah. If you search Harvard baseball, I bet that
I played the regular one because I think she's so beautiful. I'm like, I don't want to see anybody else. I want to see her.
So the team in their little team van was doing this little thing with their arms. They made it into a dance. So you had in essence, it could become a 4-wall dance.
Right.
And it in some situations where I would be playing at like a school, and I'm going to be playing 3 times that year, it was a nice change up to rotate through. As I look at it today. Well, first off, there's no significance. The kids knew the Harvard baseball. We were like, oh yeah, I've seen this one, but there was that. Today that wouldn't have fly, and even as a recurrent, I don't know if I'd play the song anyway. But this would be a situation where the pop culture of the Harvard baseball team is probably wore off or gone so far now that it's not even worth revisiting.
Yeah, great example.
Okay.
I'm looking at the chat.
Yeah.
See if anybody's saying anything.
See, Mikey saw it. It took a little tweaking to get it to fit the song properly, because they took the video and laid it over top of, because you didn't want to have it have the because all they did was they shot it with a cell phone in the van, and the audio was just was capturing the sound from the team van. So there
was some that I used to use a lot, and I haven't gone back and gotten any, but there was a radio show called the Big Boy Radio Show. And anytime, because I have ones that were by 50 Cent, Jamie Foxx, several of them, where they always did a thing for their radio show where when the show was over, in the studio, they would have the artist lip sync to the song while everybody who's there is trying to act it out and do silly stuff. And there was a couple good ones. I got like 50 Cent with just these people all over the place, and it's just him being cool and everybody else is but it's all synced with the song, and I just played that instead.
Gives a nice variety.
But it's actually, that was the thing, that it's actually them. The Jamie Foxx one's actually Jamie Foxx. And he's doing stuff, and somebody will come in and they'll do a little dance together, and then somebody will come in with a surfboard and he'll be like laying on the surf. It's just absurd, but it's like, wait, that's Jamie Foxx. Mm-hmm. So little things like that you can play, and kind of work in stuff. Sound-wise, what could you consider doing that same thing sound-wise? Because you're talking about pop culture. What can you do with that?
And that's something, the idea of drops. That was something that we would utilize. You used to be able to buy CDs that had different drops. The Bueller, that kind of a thing. And in that world, first off, you don't see drop. The little movie clips like that can be purchased. Or at least I haven't found them in a number of years. Are those things done? Shani mentioned as we were chatting that she's using, the only drops she's using are the kind of, and just to give an example, like you're in the mix with Shani or Chi-Town Shani, whatever. However, that's the kind of stuff she's doing, is basically branding type drops, where it used to be kind of, as Dan made reference to, is we used to drop in video clips or drop in audio clips that would one of my favorite ones to drop in was the Austin Powers Yeah Baby. When there was somebody that was doing something on a dance floor and they were being weird and goofy, you'd play that and it was way over, yeah, baby. And people would be like, ah, and then whatever.
You kind of fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
What we used to do about 2010 is that you could hire people, famous people, to do your drop for you. And I know people that got Little John to do their drop for them and different things like that. So that's kind of a pop culture reference. You know, like if somebody right now, you'd try to find somebody and maybe have them do it. That would be about as close as you could get to that. Because you do drop things like that occasionally, but it's got to be in the mix so much you don't lose them. It's not that, again, because it's not about looking at you as much as you think it is.
Has it even gotten to be less look at me and more of the look at them, for lack of a better way to describe it?
It depends upon the DJ. Some still do whatever they can to look at me. Trust me. They're desperate for it, and they would die if it ever stopped. Like, no joke. Like DJs, I'm sorry, you're watching me. Thank you for tuning in. We're about to see our numbers go down, but DJs are the worst. They're just so egotistical, fragile egos, just sad.
Don't pick on Dan like that. That's not nice. He doesn't want to... Oh, sorry.
Dan's a father of two, so to me, that's something I wouldn't even dare attempt. So he's got...
He's a middle school math teacher.
Oh my gosh, yes.
He's way...
Yeah.
He's got...
But no, I you know, to the thought, I think in before the drops and stuff that you would use, the pop culture pieces, the Austin Powers and all that kind of stuff, was something that was probably... I don't recall ever doing it with my type of stuff. I don't ever recall putting that into any of the mixes that I was doing. I don't remember like using that, you know, as the sampler, you know, that I might fire or something like that. I don't ever remember using that in anything that I've ever done. However, with that being said, you know, I wonder if it ever went away, or if it was one of the things people didn't really think about doing it, and if you were to bring it back, if it would have the right impact,
like putting it on your...
not necessarily on the microphone, but those drops.
Yeah, like putting it on your phone.
If you want to hear a mix with drops in it, now what I'm about to tell you was not done live. It's a studio mix I did, like a production album, not a record me while I DJ. It's a production album that I did. So if you go to my website, djmichaeljoseph.com or immj.com, and then go to the song section, I think it's music now, and under my mixes, look for one called the TC mix. And Dan said about using the older samples. I have samples on there from like Star Wars, like the original Star Wars, like "Well Done, My Young Apprentice," and there's one because I threw in there because I was a fan of Tron, and it was End of Line and stuff like that. And it's just packed full of little things like that. Couldn't do that live. Maybe if it was as tight as that one was, like I said, that's a studio album, so it's not like, you know, I'm throwing these samples in while I'm doing this. It was all done in the studio with putting things here and labeling and overlaying and. But I guess if you were able to pull it off like that tight, maybe. And if it was more importantly, if it was a show as opposed to a dance floor, because there's a lot of DJs like there's one from Pittsburgh called Girl Talk, and he does his whole show in that sort of just grabbing samples because he doesn't mix. It's all on a computer. He drags them in and drops them in places, and the whole night he's going crazy with this stuff, and it's amazing. So if it's a show, that would be fun. Like a lot of the video guys used to be show DJs.
Right, yep.
They would put on a video show display as opposed to I'm DJing with a dance floor, but I'm also doing videos, which is what I kind of do. So.
Yeah, and in the mid-2000s, that was actually something that some of the product presenters from Pioneer that were sent up to the conventions we did in Minneapolis, they came in and they were show video DJs. It wasn't you were getting clips from movies and you were getting clips from whatever popular cartoons were there at the time. And then there was music between, and then you'd go out of it and into the whatever and then back again. And so it was a completely different experience. Not usable for a dance situation, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I also wonder if some of the reason why the pop culture piece has changed is because if you think about where we were 10, 15 years ago, right? Not everybody out there was the creator. Not everybody had the TikTok piece at their fingertips at all times. So anything that was the ability to come across as a pop culture was kind of unique if the DJ was able to throw that in, whether it be using a microphone, whether it be using the video, whether it be using the music piece, whatever it happens to be. And now that's not something that's unique to us. Even if we wanted to try it, MJ said everybody's a DJ. Well, everybody's a TikTok person at their fingertips. Everybody's got that pop culture piece, the Squid Game, the upcoming Matrix, the Ghostbuster, all that kind of stuff that's might have some pop culture piece. They don't need to come to us for it.
Memes are such a great example of something they're using pop culture. I mean, how many times do we see that one little picture from the Squid Game with any number of text things that people were putting over top of it, that they've become that creator? That makes a lot of sense, actually, because why should I, I'm funnier than MJ, so why should I, go to him for my humor when I can create it myself?
Let's clarify, funny haha or funny strange?
Funny haha.
Because I'm okay with either being good at. I'm just putting that out there.
I'm just, I was using it as an example. Did it go? Yeah, the MJ put the link there if you guys want to go check that out.
But not now.
But not
now.
now.
Window.
It's very fast paced, so don't listen to it before you go to bed.
Getting on a treadmill and running.
There's so many. I'm like, because in that mix, I play Good Times theme is in there. There's Janis Joplin, Lord by Me and Mercedes Benz. There's a redrum version of that in there, and it's just a studio album with all kinds of crazy stuff. But I would love to be able to pull something like that off live someday. It would take some work, but
it would take 5 decks instead of 4.
I don't know, because if you go back and look at my video of the one I did at DJ Expo in 2018, I had that set up to where every song had the samples I was doing before the song. So my right deck would have my scratch samples, then I would go into the right deck song, and then throw the new song on the left deck, and the left deck would have 2 or 3 samples that I'd be scratching or dumping, and then go into the song. And it's the same thing. Every single song had samples at the beginning of it that I'm dropping while the other one's playing. So that took a while to do that one.
Just a little bit, yeah. You had some time.
I have. It's for the hour-long thing. It took me 60 hours of work to put into 60-minute event.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that, working on that for quite a few weeks, getting that all thought through.
How did we get off on it? Sorry, I didn't mean to derail.
That's part
pop culture.
Yeah, it's all tied in.
Pop culture? Am I relevant at this age?
Well, and that's actually kind of a direction I wanted to go. Is that because of that are we the point where the things that today's younger people, the 20-somethings that are out there, and they're the active ones in the clubs, they're the ones who go out to the bars, they're the ones who are getting married. So again, for all of our they're
rubbing it in, John, that I'm not getting married.
And no, I'm saying that the people who are doing these things are typically going to be between 22 and 30 as the main of that bell curve. It's going to be the top in that age group. Are we able to even follow things that age group is going to be knowing, acknowledging pop culture references that they will be? Are we going to be can even be on the same page with that group of people?
I want to change the bell curve because I don't think it's 22 and up. I think it ends at 27. Past 27, you don't pay. Somebody said this years ago. They said, you're old when you don't know the bands on Saturday Night Live.
Okay, I'm going to pull that up.
And I didn't know the bands on Saturday Night Live when I was 18. So.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm just throwing out every once in a while the big name actor, band you never heard of.
Oh, see, when I was younger, I knew all of them. It's like, yeah, I love these guys. I had this album last year, But it's tough because you have a lot to keep up with nowadays, because it's not just television programs you have to keep up with. It's all the stuff that's on this person's YouTube channel and this person's YouTube channel and this morning show and this and it's really tough.
Mm-hmm.
John's looking up bands. What do we got here? Go ahead.
So Casey Musgraves, Halsey.
Don't know who that is.
Let's see.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know Halsey. Okay, sorry.
Yep, Young Thug. Brandy Carlisle.
I don't
Stop.
know who that is.
Ed Sheeran. Taylor Swift.
Who?
Taylor Swift. Saweetie.
Yeah, play a lot of Sweetie.
Okay, Billie Eilish and what is it? Carly XCX. I'm not probably.
Charlie XCX.
Okay, Carly XCX or Charlie XCX, whatever. Those are the musical hosts. So I'm looking at Taylor Swift is a few years. Ed Sheeran is a few years. Brandy Carlisle. I'm not sure who that is. Myself. The rest of them I've heard of, but and then the very last one I didn't. I may know songs, but so that means I'm getting
you probably
old.
know songs. I could throw a couple songs at you and you'd be like, oh yeah.
Getting old.
Yeah.
Is it Brandy?
I think it was I. So let's go back and see if they have a 1990s.
I have nothing by any Brandy. Why don't I have that?
You don't even have Brandy? Or no, that was with a Y, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was with a Y, but that would have been.
Let me keep it straight. So I saw the episode that she was the musical artist. I was not picking up any of the songs that was being used there. But again, kind of into that same vein, the guest star there was oh my gosh, Ted Lasso, but obviously that's his character name. I can see him. I can't place the name all of a sudden.
Yeah, I know who you're referring to as far as to see him, but I have no idea what his name is.
Yeah, it was a former SNL actor.
Yeah,
and again, it was one of those where it seemed like, okay, bigger the name, musical act sort of kind of goes the other way.
Not always. Budget. They blew their budget on the big
exactly. So, trust me, it was not something that I would foresee us playing.
Gus.
ever.
Okay, Gus. Yeah, right there. Boom clap. Yep. That makes sense.
What? Boom clap?
Boom clap. Yeah,
that was Charlie XCX.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which the other day I dropped that as a hook only. I was telling somebody, I said it went really well. All I did was the hook and got out of it, and it was a great little like in and out. I don't have anything by Brandy Carlisle at all. Some of her songs are marked as country, so that could be why.
Yeah, I think it said folk. Which you probably do a lot of redrum folk music there, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that and I have this whole folder full of thrash metal versions of the Edmund Fitzgerald song.
Oh, that would be fun.
The double kick drum.
Makes you feel like you were on the iceberg right next to the ship. Oh, it's a different ship. Sorry. So yeah, that's what I just kind of wanted to go through a little bit, just to have that discussion about how today's pop culture is different in the resources that we use than it was 20 years ago. It's still there, just a different type of.
I've thought of another way that pop culture affects us.
Yeah.
And it does fit the music thing. So apparently, I know all this already, and I didn't swear at the beginning of the show I didn't. But I would consider SoundCloud songs, SoundCloud hit artists, is part of the pop culture because they're not part of the main, but they're part of the pop culture. That if an artist, I've had people ask for songs, I'm like, never heard them. It's on SoundCloud. I go to SoundCloud, and they have like 2 million plays, and I'm like, oh, I'll get this now, sort of thing. So that I would say is part of pop culture of a different thing that you have to pay attention to.
But I think when those drops and everything or the vocal work that you were doing was popular, it was maybe in a different fashion where you had to stay up on the TV shows, you had to stay up on the movies and that, where now you get to basically just follow social medias, like, different ones like that, and look for those types of pieces and those types of impacts on our music, where it's going to have a different feel and it's going to have a different result. The one thing that I love is the fact that, with the mobile side that I do and the wedding side that I do, I can still be 2-3 weeks behind, and I'm okay.
Very much so. When making that transition from wedding to school dances in the fall is somewhat scary because you feel like you're just completely. And then back when we do obviously more schools, they used to do those before COVID, and then we get to the end of the school year, and then you make the transition back to weddings, and it's like, oh wow, I just dropped back 2 years, 3 years. Can you play that new song from, and it's like, oh yeah, that came out 4 years ago. I'll get it right on it.
You can tell you're really in school mode, like school dance mode, when they ask you for a song at a wedding and you go, wait a minute, which one are they talking about? And you have to ask them, like, okay, just to be clear, what's the new one that you're talking about? And exactly as John said, it's at least like multiple months old, and of at least 2 more that's dropped since then. And you go, oh yeah, we got that. We're good.
Which version? Who sings the song? That version that you want? Oh yeah. Or the one when the kids.
I think it plays into the technology too. That like I said, that I'm never at a loss for getting songs. Because if you embrace the streaming thing, you're never going to be short of things. If it's something that might be a hit, then go for it.
By the way, I'm going to help all the DJs out, all the older, I'm going to say older DJs because younger ones probably are going to potentially pick it up on this. But if somebody comes up and asks you for a message in a bottle, they are not talking about the old Police song. It's not Sting.
No.
What?
Taylor Swift is flooding our brains with that new song.
I think I picked that one up this week, I think. I don't remember.
Yeah. Just wanted to make sure I got you back on that, okay?
There's another one out there that uses a sample from an old one. I can think of what it is. Same sort of thing. The other thing that I think is pretty prevalent is like we do this amongst us, club and bar guys. It's like somebody who asks for a song, and then everybody goes into their computer to see how long ago they downloaded it. So whoever had it first, like, wins. And I'm like, I had that in July. Yeah. Where'd you get it from back then? I mean, it was on YouTube,
But even in the mid 2000s, early 2000s, we did a similar thing. But it would be pulling out the disc and it was on the June edition.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you remember?
You would say I burnt this from LimeWire or whatever.
No, we didn't. We way too responsible for LimeWire.
No.
We only used that for. What did we use that for? I don't know if I ever
drops.
No, I didn't. I didn't do drops from there.
Everything. I took it from everything.
Yeah, I wasn't a Napster person. And then part of that was because when you're out in the rural area and the internet at that time was dial-up. Anything of substance is going to take you the rest of the day.
Wow.
So
I've been blessed. I think I've had cable internet since the 90s.
Yeah, that was a sad time in the rural history of Minnesota. I mean, it was like the major fires that burned half of the state, the tornadoes that killed half the people, and then dial-up.
And half the songs that got downloaded.
Dial-up.
And the songs that only got halfway downloaded.
The progress bar got here, and then it just died. Yeah, those were the 3 major catastrophes.
The ones I hated is when you get the song downloaded, and then somebody put it up there as a joke, and halfway through it just goes, wah! You ever get those? I had those all the time, like, jerk.
I ran into, when I was playing, not the last wedding, but the wedding, I was just going and digging in some old songs. And it was an old rip from probably when I first started ripping. And it's going along, and I was doing, it's like, that would have had to have been, like, in the first 6 months of me ripping CDs back. I was surprised it still had. First off, that I hadn't run across it already. And secondly is that... That
didn't it look different in the wave?
Well, yeah, by the time I got to that spot on it. But, I had lined it up in the, I threw it in the auto playlist during the kind of bumper music time.
Like, what program did you play that off of, John?
It was played in Virtual DJ.
You sure it wasn't played in that other
No,
one?
it was in Virtual DJ. I put it over in the auto mix, not the side list. I put it in the auto mix, and then I have it set there. I had to figure out how to turn it on so that it would show you the time that the song would be played again, because I somehow lost that in one of the updates. Oh my gosh, that was because here I am, it's like, okay, there's 20 minutes left in the show. I'm pulling out my calculator and okay, 1 minute and 20 seconds plus, okay, no, it's 1 minute and 18 seconds now plus, oh crap, now it's 1 minute and 15 seconds. I was trying to add up how much time was left in these songs so I know I could end right on time. Oh, it was terrible. But I'm better now.
It's really bad when there's 60 seconds in a minute and you're like,
converting.
Wait a minute, I've got 2 minutes and 85 seconds. How did that end up happening?
No, I like the ones when you get like 2 minutes left and you're like, holy crap, I don't have 10 more songs.
Yeah, that's my problem. I just play songs that are really good so people want to hear the whole song. I could make some recommendations for you if you'd like.
A friend of mine was out this weekend at a place that he'd never been before. I was talking to him today, and he said he had this dude come up that literally said, dude, I'll give you cash if you just play the whole song once. Play one song all the way through. I'm like, and he's like, no, I didn't take his money. I'm like, you're an idiot. Just one song all the way through. And
that's where you get like a 2 minute song and just, I mean, anything new you can get to 2.5 minutes tops.
Yeah.
Everybody, we're gonna sing.
When I was mixing, I was having fun, and apparently he wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just one dude. I'm like, I'm just laughing at you. That's all. I'm not saying you were right or wrong. I'm just laughing at you.
Or he was trying to, I bet I can get the DJ to do that.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So next week, I'm not sure what time we're going to be on because next week there is the speaker shootout that Howie's going to be at and Shaney's going to be at, and Howie is going to be needing to move his show up to our 9 o'clock time frame. So next week at this time, you guys are going to be hanging out with Howie from this I can't remember, the Harvest Speaker Shootout, whatever the name of it is. Howie he could put it in the chat room here. I don't remember what it is. But Howie's going to be there live, and he's going to get some folks together, and they're going to do the show from that event. And they have to be done by 10 o'clock Eastern because they have to be out of the building shortly thereafter. So I'm not sure if we want to do something. We'll have to talk about this off air, or if you guys want to go later, or if we want to go earlier, or if we record something and make it inspirational. That could be awesome, too. Mm-hmm. That could be awesome, too.
Wait.
What?
You just used us and inspirational in the same sentence.
I know.
That doesn't happen.
But he still hasn't said one other word that I really need to say right now, which is
just
Agaseg.
See, I didn't even need to say it. The desire is there. The emphasis
thirst.
I was thirsty for water, not some half-bit Mac-only program. Sorry. All you people.
One of the nicest.
People have got to hate me, but some of the stuff I say, I apologize if it offends you. I don't mean to offend you. It's just... people blow up this business too much and make too much of it. To me, I mean, like I said, we don't heal people. We don't build things. We don't repair things. We play other people's songs back.
Okay, there's one part of this I'm going to disagree with. When we're playing, yes, I agree. But you mentioned the very first one, we don't heal people. And I think part of what we do with with our shows, and what, the chill room, and what Howie, with when we're doing these things and helping people who sometimes are in tough spots in their life, and this is, a highlight for them because we've become part of their family, and that they're seeing people and being, checking in with people, and we see, Mikey Mike's in the chat room, and Disco Worm's in the chat room there, and Andy and Steven and Fly Robin there. Howie was in earlier. He's getting things ready for the show tonight. It's that family thing. And I think that while when we're playing music, we may not be, quote, healing people, although we could do that too. I think
it's whatever song you play after country music heals the pain from the
country music. I'm not arguing with you there. I think there's something with that.
By the way, I found the show. I had to do some searching while you guys were talking. It is called Harvest of Sound.
Thank you.
It's next Monday. I guess from 4 to 8.
Yeah.
4 to 8 in at the Sons of Italy in Quincy, Mass.
It's in Boston.
No, it's in Quincy.
It's in Quincy. Don't get them confused. Quincy and Boston are two totally different things.
Yeah, John also put it in the chat there. You guys can check that out, and because I think John was going to be down there with Howie helping. I think the two of them were going to do this show, and then just have grab guests as they're rolling on through to be part of the show. So So this week, MJ, when are you up for the next Wednesday night?
It should be this week, but I don't know. I've been really struggling with my show, like I said, because I just don't see. Again, I'm not trying. We can talk about this afterwards, but I don't see what I do as important. So, like, I have a lot of trouble putting effort into it. I've talked about every topic 12 times. So it's like I don't feel I have anything left to say that I'm not repeating myself on. So.
One thing I'll throw out there, because the question has popped up a lot in the comments on some of the different videos, whether it's on Facebook, on the Music and Mixing show, has been updating on the streaming. If what's available, or how you can stream music and use it in virtual DJ. So
I've done 3 of those
10
videos,
of those
shows
all
up to date.
Yeah,
they're all up to date.
And that's a question that keeps coming up. Today someone was going back to the Spotify was Spotify for a second on.
Yeah, literally look at the head title of that video. It says no longer something or other, see updated videos, Spotify doesn't work. It literally says it across the top. People keep asking, why can't I get Spotify?
Yeah.
You can get it when you can read the whole sentence that's there.
Yes, we don't want to read a whole sentence. We just want to have it.
We just want you to tell us.
I don't know. I'm not going to do your work for you.
Oh,
no,
that would be
not
so
without
much
a large paycheck.
That would be so much more fun. Things would be better.
No, not without a large paycheck.
But tomorrow night, basketball season kicks in for some of the Tuesdays. So tomorrow night I will be at a basketball game. Jay and Brian will be coming in with Howie and the gang at 10 o'clock Eastern out at DJNTV.com/chill. So you guys will be able to do that. We're going to be putting up one of Howie's shows from last week, I think it was. That will be going up in the Tuesday night with Ben Stowe slot at 9 o'clock Eastern, and then they'll be doing the live recording at 10 o'clock. So yeah, that's going to be it. Also, we're only a few more weeks of Randy Bartlett, our Wednesday morning show, excuse me. Randy's going to be wrapping up here at the end of the year. He's going to be leaving the DJ industry completely from the training side of it. He's clearing out his DVDs that he has as 1% Solution, and he'll be stepping away from his Facebook group and enjoying his retirement officially starting January 1st. So if you haven't checked that out, he's got a lot of 150 shows or something to that effect that we've done, and he's got a few more, and he'll be wrapping up a minute with Randy Bartlett, which hasn't yet been a minute. I don't think so.
It's been a lot of minutes.
I think there was one that he was under 2. I mean, and that's if you take off the branding things we add to the videos. I think one was under 2. The longest was well over 20. But he still has a few more weeks. You never know. He might make it.
His last one will be like, hey, everybody, bye. And then he'll sit there for another, 50 seconds.
Watching his clock, and done. Next Monday night, of course, we'll be doing that. Then in 2 weeks, we're going to be having our final DJNTV training of the year. We've got a few speakers coming in, and they're going to talk about creating the perfect event in their area or their types of events that they do. That'll be coming up December 13th. So we'll be kind of bouncing around and doing our typical show where each one of them, I think, is going to be having about a 25-minute session and having some fun with that. So that'll be, again, December 13th. So I think we're there, guys. I'm going to type in the URL, Dan, so when you say it, I can hit return.
But they're going to get it before I do. So anyway, thank you very much for taking time to join us tonight. Of course, don't forget Howie and the guys and all the fun that they're going to be having in the chill room, DJNTV.com/chill. That's where you need to check them out and all the fun that they're going to be doing. I missed it. And they go stick around afterwards for all the, just banter that you get to do and just hang out and be fun with them. Although that didn't work as a link, John. So on that note, have yourself a wonderful rest of the time, and we'll see you next week.
Everybody.